Nini everyone, Zabora here. So this is our Van Van oil video. I'm going to be showing you how I make my Van Van oil. Now the word Van Van and where this kind of originates is in French Creole. Okay, so French Creole, the accent that they had, the word verbena, vervain, kind of came out vervan. And so that kind of became Van Van over time. So this pronunciation of verbena, or the kind of folk name vervan, is where we get our name for this oil. Now, vervan, lemon verbena, which is the plant, is kind of expensive in oil form. So if you want to get the plant form, much cheaper. You can even grow it yourself if you want to. I actually don't have access to it at this point in time. It is something I'm planning on doing at a future point. Anyway, so what I have instead is vetiver, or vetiver for the essential oil. Now I know Plant Guru says vetiver, and this is probably because of the confusion. Vetiver is a derivative of lemon verbena, so I find it an acceptable substitute for verbena. Now vetiver is the oil of the vetiver plant. That's it. I know it's kind of confusing, so I kind of understand Plant Guru going, it's just vetiver. I swear to God, it's vetiver. I'm so tired of saying vetiver is the oil of vetiver, because that's like one of those questions you just get asked a lot. So I choose vetiver for my verbena substitute. If you choose not to substitute, again, great. It's kind of an expensive oil. I know I'm kind of, got some throwaway money, but I ain't got that amount of throwaway money at this point in time. So, I have this oil. It's acceptable. It works. And this shit, let me tell you, whoo, potent. All right. So, our first ingredient here that we have in our Van Van oil is lemongrass. Now, I already have 10 drops of lemongrass in my cup here, just because it was the last of the lemongrass that I had in here. And this container is actually going to house our Van Van oil now, okay? So, I put the last 10 drops in here, and then I'm going to transfer it. The next ingredient is 5 drops of citronella. So, I've got citronella here. Do 5 drops. 1, 4, 5. Okay, perfect. Alright, it's coming along nicely. Alright, next one, 2 drops vetiver, whatever you want to call it. This stuff is kind of thick and gloopy, but just stick with this. 1, come on, baby. 2. Okay. Now, one of the ingredients of Van Van that is traditional is gingergrass. And gingergrass is just the second pressing of the Palmarosa plant. And I have the Palmarosa essential oil here. So, I choose not to add gingergrass, because I find it to be just a little bit repetitive. Instead, after I add the Palmarosa, I'm going to add, I think, 2 drops, right? 1 drop. 1 drop Palmarosa. After I add this, done, I'm going to add 1 drop of patchouli for potency in its place. Okay. Ooh, stuff's getting thick too. It's a little old. 1. Perfect. Now, gingergrass is kind of got like an earthly kind of scent to it. It's a little bit more musky than the Palmarosa, but it is the exact same plant. It is just the second pressing. I went and I pulled out all my notes here. I'm going to cover this up just to show you the scientific names here. Okay. All right. So now that we've got everything, yep, lemongrass, citronella, vetiver, palmarosa, patchouli. What we're gonna do is I'm just swirling it around just to kind of get it mixed up because there's different viscosities, so I'm just trying to blend them. There we go. It's a nice consistent color. Little earthly. I think it needs a little bit more lemongrass. I don't think those drops were appropriate size. When I got the last of it out, I'm like, this looks a little light. So I think I'm gonna add just a few, 2, 3, about 3 more of the lemongrass. I don't want the citronella to kind of overpower it. This is more of a lemony kind of scent if you've ever smelled like real Van Van oil. Yeah, it's closer. Okay, so I'm going to let this sit. I'm going to pause the video. We're going to transfer it over here into our nice little container, okay? So, pause. Okay, so that smells way better now that I did add the extra few little drops of lemongrass. So the final 2 ingredients are actually not oils. It's going to be a mineral and a plant matter. I'm going to add pyrite chips to our little oil thingy here. Alrighty. And lemongrass, because traditional hoodoo recipes typically have plant matter of the oil or added minerals to the oil just to give it a little extra oomph, which is something I really admire about hoodoo, that it incorporates a lot of minerals and stuff like practically in recipes. So something that drew me to it. I think it needs a little bit more lemongrass. There we go. Okay. Alright, now when it comes to dilution, because you can, I don't know if you can see like the light, it's not really too full, it's only like right here, right? When it comes to dilution, you can choose whatever you want to kind of add your own little personal twist on it, because Van Van is good for so many things. I'm going to add sweet almond because this is going to help me with drawing influential people into my life and kind of help me with some problems that I'm currently having. It's kind of up to you. Like, different bases add different aspects. If you want to go with money drawing aspect of Van Van, then you want to go with grapeseed oil or maybe peanut oil or some kind of sun aspect oil, okay? So I'm choosing to use sweet almond oil for my dilution. What did I do? I've never used this before, so. Oh, I've never opened it, yeah. So, that's obvious. Ha ha ha. You caught me. Brand new bottle. Now, you can also choose to make a stock oil, which is like if you choose to quadruple my recipe and just keep it in a glass bottle like this, just essential oils, that is a stock oil. Then you can choose to dilute it at a later point. Like, I've got a little bit of oil still left here. I can then use this, dilute it in here, and then this here would become the oil for a particular spell. That way it doesn't influence all of this to being one particular influence, okay? So, but that's up to you. Again, it's just a way to kind of maybe save your oils a little bit, extend them a little bit more. I don't know. It's kind of a self-exploration thing. All right, so that's it. So the last thing, now that we have put it all together, Just gonna give it a shake. We're gonna let this sit about a week or so. I like 2 weeks. Sometimes more, sometimes less. Before we use it, and we're going to add a label here. Whoops, I put that on crooked. There we go. Van. Alright. So if you want to date it, go ahead and date it, but we're just gonna put our label on there as the last piece. That's it for tonight, guys. Sanapte. Silly me, totally forgot to tell you what Van Van is good for. It is good for drawing in luck with love, money, drawing in influential people, clearing away negativity, and it's an all-around good purpose kind of oil. I said this before, it's a little bit like Felix Felicis. It's from the Harry Potter series. It's very lucky, and it can just... Adding a couple drops of this to whatever spell you're working with just adds a little more oomph to it, because it adds a little bit more luck, a little bit more likelihood that it'll come true if it concerns love or money or whatever, okay? So, my personal opinion. The other thing is, I'm not sure if I told you this or not, but you can add certain oils to help extend the shelf life of some of your oils that you create, especially if they contain plant matter like our Van Van oil does. That is vitamin E oil, or you can add benzoin oil, and that will help to keep the shelf life of your oils. Okay, and I really do like the vitamin E oils that come in like little capsules. All you gotta do is just pierce it, and one little squitz of that, and your oils will last years. Quite literally years. Okay? That's it for tonight, guys. Sarate.